Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first update in my 2023 Pan Those Eyeshadows series. I'm so excited to be filming this update. I will say at the beginning of this video, I have not hit any pans yet, but a lot of these shades did not have a lot of use on them, and so that's really no surprise to me, but I have made some good progress across the board, so I'm excited to share that with you. But before we jump into it, I just wanted to quickly explain how this project works. So as you may know, on this channel, I love all things project panning. I do this project, I do like a rolling 5-pan rolling style project pan, which was the last video that was just up, and I did hit a new empty in that video, so if you haven't checked that one out, definitely go ahead and check that one out. And then I also do like a shop my stash usage style project pan. And so Pan Those Eyeshadows though might be my favorite project pan type video to film, and that is because it is all about randomly selecting from your collection, and I think that just makes it really fun. I think it also makes it just like really interesting for the viewer to see as well. But basically how this project works was in my intro video, I pulled up my list of all my eyeshadows. I track all of my eyeshadows on an Excel doc, and I'm pointing like this because my computer's sitting right in front of me, and we'll run through the numbers in a second. But I track all my eyeshadows on there, and I pull up like a randomizer number selector on my phone, and I randomly selected 5 eyeshadows, and I will work on those 5 eyeshadows until I hit pan on one, and then when I hit pan on one, I will obviously update you in that month's update video, and then we will randomly select a new eyeshadow to work on. So I really enjoy this project because it gets me out of my comfort zone with eyeshadows. It gets me using eyeshadows that I might never choose to use, and it definitely helps build a lot of usage and just progress on my collection in general, which I think is really important, instead of just focusing in on the shades or the colors or the type of eyeshadow looks that you might always kind of gravitate to. In terms of showing progress, I count how many times a month that I use those eyeshadows, and then I also take update videos at each month, and then you can kind of compare and see the progress as I display them on the video as we talk about the eyeshadows. So that is pretty much how this project works. I always like to touch on my numbers at the beginning of these videos. My numbers have not changed from last month because I have not hit any new pans and I haven't decluttered or purchased any new eyeshadows, but I do think that they're important to just mention at the top of this video anyway, even if there isn't anything different. To do just that, I have 213 eyeshadows. 15 of them are single shadows, 198 of them are across 11 different palettes. And right now I have 23 pans of eyeshadow in my collection, or eyeshadows that I've hit pan on in my collection, which makes my pan percentage of my collection 10.8%. Really happy with that number. My goal last year was 10%, so happy that we're sitting above that. I would like to see that continue to go up. Unfortunately, there is no update this month in terms of hitting new pan. I think next month that I could probably hit pan on one of these shadows. I just have to keep working through that. But what I ended up rolling last month was 4 shimmer shades and 1 matte black, which you will see. And so those 4 shimmer shades, I've been trying to kind of use all of them instead of just focusing on one. And then obviously with the matte black, that one's gonna be tough to hit pan on. So I might roll it out after 20 uses. And that's the only kind of like different thing that I have to this project, and that is if I use an eyeshadow 20 times and I have no interest in really hitting pan on it, or it's proving to be very difficult to hit pan on it, I can roll it out after 20 uses. I did that last year, I think with 2 shadows. I did it with a black and a really dark blue, and I rolled in a black this year, so that could be a possibility, but I have not made up my mind if that's the direction that I'm heading with that one anyway. And even if it is, we definitely have at least another month to work on it. All right, with all of that being said, let's talk about the eyeshadows that are sticking around for this next month. So I have 2 eyeshadows coming from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, volume 1. The first is this shadow right here called Diva, and I used this shade 4 times this month, and I'm actually wearing it today on like the inner half of my lid. It's definitely a standout shade. I feel like it's green, it's different, it's really fun. I have worn it all over the lid. I've worn it like in the inner corner, I think in my like example of how I wear all of these shadows together in my intro video, I put it in the inner corner, and then I've worn it a couple times in like just the first half of my lid. And I think I prefer it how I'm wearing it today. I think that's how I'm gonna enjoy wearing this shade, but really pretty and definitely different. And then the other shade from this palette is the black shade right here, and that is in the shade Abyss. I also use this 4 times exclusively as an eyeliner on my top lid. Definitely gonna be hard to hit pan just using it as an eyeliner, but I have enjoyed pulling for it as that. It's super versatile in that I can pretty much wear it as an eyeliner with most looks. I don't always go that way because a lot of times I am putting on makeup for work and I don't always need like a smoky eye, but definitely for like nights out or for dinner or occasionally for work if I'm doing something more subtle, this black works really well. So happy to have it in the project and happy to have gotten 4 uses on it. Next shade comes from my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and it is the shade right here called Lituation. I used this 5 times this month. I'm actually also wearing this one today. I'm wearing this one in the outer half of my lid. So I've worn it a few times like that, where it's been in the outer half of my lid. I've worn it with the Diva shade, and I've also worn it with a shade you'll see next. And then I've also worn it all over my lid, which I liked as well. So this one's also pretty versatile, really pretty shade. I've really enjoyed using it and just kind of testing out the best approach. I do like it putting it in my outer corner, but I also enjoy just wearing it all over the lid. The next shade also comes from a Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This is volume 2, and I pulled the shade Good Place. So this is a purple that looks way more pink when it's not just like in the pan. And I've only worn this 2 times. So I wore this when I showed you how all of these shades can work together in my intro video, and then I wore it on the inner half of my lid one day with Lituation on the outer half, kind of similar to what I'm doing with Diva and Lituation today. And I did enjoy it like that, but it is definitely more of a pink than a purple, which for me makes it a little bit more challenging to wear. So definitely need to spend more time focusing on that one. But I spent most of this month focusing on a particular shade, and that's the one you're gonna see most progress with, and that is coming from my ABH Nouveau palette, and it is the shade right here called Belle. So I hope you can even see just from me holding it up that I've made some really good progress on that shade. I've been wearing it all over the lid most days. I've worn it 12 times this month, and it's just been so easy to work with. It's so creamy. It's just so easy to wear for work. And so I've been absolutely loving that one. And I think if I continue to wear it as much as I have been, that I could probably hit pan on it next month, just because these shadows are so creamy. Although I will say the Nouveau palette is different than like some of the older classic ABH palettes because these pans are bigger, so I'm not sure how deep they are. I don't know how far down I need to go to hit pan, but I already have a pretty good dent going in it, and I think that I probably could do it if I continued working on it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm using all of my shades instead of focusing just on one. I obviously did focus on this one more than any of the other ones, but I kind of just want to make sure that I'm using all of my shades so I'm not getting into the trap of like having one that just sticks around all year because I only use it a couple times a month, because that did happen to me last year, and I left it in the project because a couple times a month was better to me than like never wearing it at all, but it just wasn't something that I was ever gonna hit pan on, and I don't want that to be the case for a lot of these. I would like to be able to hit pan on all of the shimmers. That would be the ideal state for me, but like I said, it's kind of hard when you're trying to focus on one or trying to spread the love, because when you're trying to spread the love, progress is a little bit slower. So, I mean, that's just that, but I am excited with the progress that I've made across the board. I feel like in general, I'm happy with the progress that I've made, and I'm also happy to leave all 5 of these shadows in for next month because I have really enjoyed working with all of them. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I am not going to film how I wear all 5 of these together because that would be the same kind of look that I did in the first video. But next time I hit a pan and roll in a new shade, I will incorporate kind of showing you how all the shades can be worn together back into the video again. So hopefully all of you enjoyed this, and hopefully I continue to make some good progress next month and hit a pan. And if I do, I will catch you in that video, if not before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe, and I will see you in my next one.